Happy Tuesday! It's time for Stories with Sarah Lizabeth. What do y'all think about that? Like, the whole thing that I adapted, the whole Happy Tuesday. I mean, I guess I could have been like, Happy Tuesday. Or I could have been like, hey y'all, it's Tuesday. Or maybe, what's up Tuesday? I don't know. But anyways, I went with Happy Tuesday. And I have people that come to me all the time now. And then when they see me for the first time, they say Happy Tuesday. So anyways, all that to say, I love it. And I'm glad you're with me today on this Happy Tuesday. So, y'all, this is it. I am so excited right now because this is the week that I start my wedding season. And that makes me so happy because it's kind of like Christmas Day. It's like, there's all this hustle and bustle and you're running around crazy and you still have to work, You're not just working on that one wedding that is coming up this weekend. You're working on other weddings in the future and frankly, nobody cares what you've got going on the weekend. So, and then Monday morning comes and you're exhausted and you're like, people don't even know what I've just done this week and they need stuff from me. So Mondays are always crazy, the days after event weekends. But there's so much to do. We've got to make sure the van is working and running, and I've got some things inside that I want to fix up on it. And then, we've got to pull all the inventory for this weekend, the draping, the lighting, all the flowers and decor, pack the van. And then Thursday, this place will be full of flowers for flower production. So I'm excited. It's like new life, the anticipation of a new season, all of the amazing people that I'm gonna get to serve this year. I'm just honored to serve them. So I'm really excited about what's ahead for us here at Regalo Design and starting the season. So yay, I'm thrilled. So now next Tuesday, I might be like, I need a minute. I just worked a crazy wedding weekend. But for right now, I'm super stoked. So anyways, but this story that I'm gonna share with you is a good one. It's one that I've actually forgotten about. I totally forgot. And then last week it was like in my brain. And I was like, yes, I've got to share that story. So I hope you enjoy it. But it's all about combining a beautiful truck, a boy and his truck, and pain medication. Two things that just don't mix well. So I hope you enjoy it. It's terrible for the groom, but I hope y'all get a few laughs out of it. So enjoy. Have y'all ever met someone with a truck? A boy in a truck? I mean, they are for real about it, I mean, it is beyond territory that they could, live in. I mean, they are willing to, spend all the money they have on their truck. And it's their person. It's their thing. And I get it. I mean, it's, a boy in his truck. That's what you see when they grow up. They have these trucks, Well, this groom loved his truck. If he could have, I say to my kids, well, why don't you go and marry it? He probably would have married his truck if he could, because he loved it that much. And he took care of it, it was always washed, it was always just perfect. And this was his thing, this was his truck. So to paint the picture for you, the venue was about an hour and a half away from Nashville, and it's a place that is all windows. The entire, only one side is not windows. There are windows on that side, but all the other sides are like a hanger windows, like ceiling, floor to ceiling windows. And so you can see out and you see everything. You see the parking lot, you see the little lake that's out back, and you see the whole shebang. So this client in particular, he knew exactly where he wanted his truck to be parked. And don't you know, it was like right up front where everyone could see his truck. So that was one thing, this couple was so sweet and the family was so sweet. I loved them so much and really got close to them. So I sort of, made fun of him every once in a while, just jokingly, lovingly, about his truck and his lovely bride and the two of them. And so I knew exactly where I was gonna park this truck. Well, actually, I didn't park it because there's no way he was gonna let me park it. So he parked the truck in the spot that we kind of decided it needed to be seen. So the day was perfect. There was, it was a beautiful day. The clients and the family, everyone was happy. We were winning. And, the groom, his truck was parked. We had it ready to go. It was exactly where everyone was gonna walk by and see his truck. And, he probably would have allowed me to use it as the backdrop for their wedding, or maybe they could have gotten married in the bed of the truck. I mean, it's quite possible, but we did park it off to the side where everyone could see it, and it was clean and washed and perfect. So the day was wonderful. I was enjoying my time with my client and their families, and Grim had one eye on the truck. He would take pictures and then back to the truck, and take pictures and back to the truck. So, and I kept, telling him, the truck's good, we got it, we got you. And so we're progressing through the day. We've done all the photos and videography, and everything is good to go. And the guests start arriving, and they're driving by and they're seeing the truck, and it's just gorgeous. So everything is going good. That was very important to him. So guests are arriving, and we are getting ready to line up the bridal party. And so I'm lining up the bridal party, and I am making sure that everyone is in line. I know the pattern that we're gonna take, which is right by Mr. Trucky Friend, and we're gonna go right by truck on our way to the ceremony, and then we're gonna go back by truck again on the way out. And then when we're in the reception, we have positioned everyone to where truck is in the back. So, and mind you, everyone can see everything. So everyone's lined up, and we are about to do go time. So in the few seconds before I send bridal party down the aisle, I kind of just do one last sweep, making sure, there aren't any stragglers with the guests and we're not holding for anyone. And just to make sure, everything, boom, 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 my staff knows what to do, just kind of run through that real quick with them again. And it's just a quick loop. Well, this day, that quick loop was not so quick. Because when I had the bridal party lined up. We had rehearsed this the night before, exactly where it was gonna be, because they wanted, they were walking by the truck, they were walking out by the truck. And I went to do a loop, and just to check, make sure everything was okay. My staff was parked really close to the truck. And because it was priority parking, okay? So we were there first, and we and no guests were really gonna be around Truck Friend. So, which I knew, I wish I knew the name of the truck, because surely he named the truck, right? So anyways, Trucky is what we'll call him, Trucky. So Trucky's sitting out there, and my staff is there too. And so I'm on the loop, and I get summoned by one of my staff. It was her first day of work. And she comes running over to me. She was real little and, delicate, the delicate kind, she was the kind that, I had folding napkins and doing things like that, because it was her first day. I was testing the waters with her. And she comes just white-faced to me. And she said, "There's a gentleman in the parking lot that just hit my car." And I said, "Oh no," because this was her first day with us, and I'm like, great, first day. And I've got to deal with an insurance claim, and the poor gal has her car, which was, it was already beat up. She was getting ready to sell it. And here it was now, this guy had come and scraped all the way down her car. That was not all, folks. Nope. So I get to the parking lot, and I see the vehicle that has hit my staff's car. I then see the vehicle back up hit her car again, back up, and as he's backing up, you know what's right close to this gentleman? Our friend Truckee. And he starts backing up, and he proceeded to back up, pull forward, back up, pull forward, probably 10 times, hitting the groom's truck all the way down the side of his truck, and he got 2 of my staff's vehicles. Totally was just playing bumper cars back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So finally, I get this man's attention after I am screaming at him. Now, mind you, well, I don't really scream much, but this was serious. So I had to use my outside voice. And so I was screaming at him, "Stop! What are you doing? Stop!" You know, I'm banging on his car right now because at this point, his front and back bumper are on the ground and he's just continuously running over them. So I am just screaming at him, banging on his car, trying to get him to stop. And he finally stops. It was like awful. The aftermath of what he left, mind you, I have a bridal party that is completely ready and excited to walk by a Truckee friend. And Truckee is now dented all down the side, all along the back of the truck. It's awful. And this was gonna be their getaway car. But, you know, so they're waiting and they're like, there's windows everywhere. And somehow I had them in a position where they could not actually see truck for a minute. And so I don't know how that happened, but I happened to have them in a spot waiting for me to come back where they couldn't see what had just happened. And so I say to this man, I get him, like, literally, he steps out of the car and his legs were like jello. And I was like, "Sir, are you okay?" And he was like, "I have a backup camera. I don't know what's going on." And I said, "Are you on something, sir? What?" Like, I'm trying to figure out, how do you hit a car, multiple cars, multiple times and not stop? That was a very bad backup camera. And so, and he's like, his legs are like jello. He's trying to talk to me, but he's not making any sense. And so I'm just sort of like, you must be on something. Something's not right. Like, this is not okay. So he's not making any sense. I'm getting ready to send in bridal party. And my little staffer is right there, my team member, and poor little thing, she's just looking at her car and looking at the truck and looking at this man and she's just like, "First day, yay." First day with Regalo. And so I look at her and I say, "I will take care of this." I said, "Keep him here." Little girl, tall, stumbling guy. And I said, "Just keep him here. I have to get the bridal party down the aisle." So internally, I'm having a little freak out, y'all. I'm a little bit concerned that I'm about to send this groom down the aisle and he might see his truck that has literally moved spots now because of how many times this guy has hit this truck. So I have about 2 seconds to make a decision, and that was when I was walking into the building to get the bridal party to send them down the aisle. At this point, they're looking at me like, "This is not like you, Sarah. Why are you late? Like, what'd you just go do? Did you just go eat a sandwich or what? Because you said, 'Hang on 1 second, I'll be right back,' to send us down, and 10 minutes later I come back." So they're a little bit like wondering what's going on with me, why I've done what I've done. And of course I just say, you know, "Sorry about that. We've got everything taken care of. And we're gonna go another way to the ceremony." It's a much better way. You know, I'm literally pulling anything out of wherever I can pull things out of to figure out a way to like convince them in 2 seconds that they need to follow me. And so groom's like, "Well, what about going, you know, we were gonna go buy the truck." And I was like, no, I know. You know, there's guests still coming in, and you know, there's just some congestion in the parking lot right now. We just need to go this way. So I get them lined up in location 2. And this gentleman comes over to me, and he has now seen what has happened to the groom's truck, and he is irate because he is like, this is his truck. Like, and I'm lining up with the people. I'm lining up with the bridal party, and I'm like, I know, okay, just, excuse me, sir, just hold on one second. Let me get them down the aisle, and then I'm gonna talk to you, sir. I promise you I will talk to you. And so I get them down the aisle a little quicker than I probably normally would. And I was like, go. I've got something going on with man over here that's hit this truck. This guy is mad, and it's not even his truck. So there is a bond there that I just cannot explain. And so I'm getting them down the aisle, and then I turn to this gentleman and I say, okay, let's go take care of this. I said, we've got like, 15 minutes while they're at the ceremony. I said, I'm gonna call the police. And I said, but I couldn't call the police before the ceremony, like in the 2 seconds that I had to get back to the bridal party, I couldn't call the police because this is a building of all windows, and Truckee is hurt. He is injured bad, and we can't call the police because they're gonna roll up on us with their lights on, and ceremony's gonna be going on. I said, so we have to wait, sir, until the ceremony is over, and then we'll call the police. I promise you, I will take care of this, but we have to wait because the police officer coming over here and in the middle of ceremony, and then I could just see it. Groom is standing in front of his bride, saying that he's going to love her forever, and out of the corner of his eye, he sees Truckee. And Groom is sad. So I did not want this to happen. I wanted him to stand in front of his bride without any distraction. And so I told the gentleman, I said, you need to give me a minute. We're gonna finish up the ceremony. I'm gonna get them lined up and get everybody ready to go. I will call the police. I promise you, I will take care of this. I have someone out there waiting with the gentleman, and it'll be fine. But you've just gotta let me do my job, sir. So by the time the ceremony's over and we're headed to the reception, I somehow have managed to not let Groom see Truckee. And so I go back out there with the staff that was waiting with man that has lost his marbles. And man that has lost his marbles and has hit the groom's truck numerous times, and 2 of our staff vehicles, is now gone. Y'all, this is a hit and run now. He is gonzo. Totally has left the property, has left his vehicle in between the cars. Doors, all the doors were open at this point, and he is gone. We can't find him anywhere. She said, my staff said that he just walked away like he was escaping, and she couldn't keep him there. He was just like stumbling, walking away. So he now leaves. So I've got to call the police now and say, hey, we have a little situation. So the police show up. I give them the report because I saw it and I witnessed it. And mind you, I have a reception going on as well. So my brain is in several different places right now. I'm like, officer, please, can you just come follow me around? And as I'm releasing tables, I will talk to you about what's going on. And I will tell you, I said, but there's a reception in there. I've got to attend to that, and I've got to attend to making this police report. And so at this point, Groom is still unaware of what has happened. Somehow I have kept it from him. And so I finish up the police report, and I go back into the reception, and I knew I had to tell the groom. This was probably one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do, is to walk in and crush a boy's dream of his truck. It was awful. So I walked in and I pulled him aside. I said, hey, I need to talk to you. And he was like, yeah, what's up? And I said, isn't today so great? Today is just the best day of your life. You've married the most amazing woman. I said, but there is something wrong with Truckee. And he said, what happened? and I said, there was a gentleman that came in to park, and he didn't have a spot, but he created a spot in between your truck and my staff's vehicles, and it is not good. And y'all, he was devastated. It wasn't even anger, it was more sadness over his truckie. And so he went out and assessed the damage, and we sat there and had a moment with his truck, and I had to file other reports for my staff and also make sure that he had everything that he needed to take care of it on his insurance side. And we don't know who it was, because that guy has left. He's gonzo. So I kind of just said to him, I know that this is going to be very difficult, but I'll make sure that this is taken care of, whatever I need to do. I want you to go and enjoy your reception. There's nothing we can do about this right now, and you won't get this moment back. We can deal with Truckee, and we can take care of him, but you won't ever get this reception back. And so he agreed that he was gonna go in and that, you know, he was gonna have a good time, which meant, you know, having a good time because he was a little sad about his truck. And so he did. He went back to the reception, and I was still, you know, going through the logistics of the reception. And then once I got done with, you know, the schedule of, you know, things that were assigned, like cake cutting and toast and things like that, and first dances, I needed to figure out who this gentleman was that had hit the groom's truck. So I had to be a little bit of a private investigator and ask some people around whose vehicle that was. I was able to kind of get the vehicle over and parked because he had left the keys in it and then left it running. And so I had, you know, closed up the vehicle and parked it and asked around, do you know who owns this vehicle? And I happened to find his wife. And so I sit down with her and I said, hey, you know, your husband came on property in this vehicle, and he hit the groom's truckie, and two of our staff's vehicles. And I said, so I need to get some information from you for, you know, the report and for insurance and all this stuff. And I said, and I don't know where he is. So I just want to let you know he is not here, and he left. And so this is a serious situation. And she said that he had had back surgery that either that day before or a couple days before the event. And they had this wedding to attend. So she drove them down, and they were at the hotel, and she left in an Uber to the reception, leaving husband and vehicle at the hotel. Well, he had taken, you know, pain medication and things post-surgery, and he was just sitting there alone in the hotel, and he knew there was a party going on. So he proceeded to get in the car and try and drive himself to the wedding. And I'm pretty sure that this was not the first car that he hit, but I felt so bad for them too, because, you know, this man was, you know, recovering from a really bad surgery, and they still wanted to be there for their friends. And he honestly didn't know where he was or what he was doing. And so then we were on a hunt to find him. And it turns out he had gone to the gas station next door and called an Uber and made his way back to the hotel. So he was safe at the hotel. I was talking with the wife to make sure that, you know, just everything was cleared up policy-wise, and trying to, like, you know, make the groom happy and let him know this is like the worst thing ever, but hey, you just got married. Like, this is great, right? It was awful. It was not good. But we made it, and they were married, and they had a wonderful reception, and everything, you know, has been taken care of and covered by now. But it was a sad situation, It was unfortunate for sure. So I'm glad that one's over. So here's my little tidbit of information for y'all. If you are having surgery of any kind, and they give you some medicine, and on that medicine, on that bottle, it says, do not operate vehicles of any kind. Machinery, I think is what they call it. Don't do it, y'all. It will not end well. And you just stay in that hotel and have your own little party, okay? So thanks for listening to my story. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you all have a wonderful week this week. I'm off to just enjoy the wedding season launching. So I'm excited. We'll see you next week. Have a great week.